Hello, Rust has changed, and it's not going fast enough. This is my attempt to jump on the bandwagon started by Vertigo Gaming and continued by LOLFTV, Fado82, and I bet several else people that have talked about it as well, and now it's my turn. They're right in some respects. That aspect of just, I think Argyle Alligator and Shadowfax mentioned this as well, just running around naked talking to people, that is somewhat diminished now. But I believe that this is the only real negative change, well, in my opinion. Let me tell me where I'm coming from. I read a book once. I've read it a bunch of times. It's one of my favorites, even though it's not the best literature. Its story and the world it takes place in is so interesting because it's basically Rust. I won't spoil too much of it for you, but it's about a real guy who existed in like reality that dies here on Earth as an 80-year-old man in like the 1800s, late 1800s, I think. He wakes up on a beach naked with everyone who has ever lived for 10,000-ish years back to like 2008 or something, I think. Naked on a beach, and strapped to his wrist is like a metal cylinder which they put in chargers, and they get food and clothes and weed and LSD-ish like drugs, and he has a youthful 20-year-old body. No scars, no nothing. But he woke up again, and everyone else just woke up as well on a planet which is a giant river. It's that's where the name comes from. Riverworld by Philip Jose Farmer is the name of this book. Anyway, he spends his time in the book traveling the lands, and since it's made up of people from all places and all times, there's some really interesting interactions between, say, medieval Europeans, pre-Columbian Indians, 13th century Africans, Chinese from the Great Dynasties, Neanderthals, Nazis from 1940s Germany. You name it, everything's in there. And he finds all sorts of mode of government in his travels, like from small ragtag groups of raiders to slave states. They take slaves, that's pretty self-explanatory. There's democracies, and since everybody who has ever lived is there are kings that have feudal states. There are old Roman emperors which are completely insane, like Nero. And yeah, it's all sorts. It's like if Gary read this book and figured, I want to make this into an FPS game, and Rust is that game. So what's common in all these ages? Well, as humans, we organize. We group together with other people. We want to belong to groups, starting with like the family unit, a team, a group, a religion, a government, regardless of what form. We want to be in groups that share our values and ideas about the world. And this is pretty much exactly the behavior we see in Rust. People organize, they make rules of conduct that clans find acceptable. Some clans don't offline raid, some do. Some kill nakeds, some don't. And some are just trolling and griefing. And some groups don't kill at all and don't make any war. And this is exactly the behavior we see in Rust. It's good. It's because that's how humans are. Grouping also allows people to be their individual selves, to play to their strong points. Okay, if you want to play solo, that's fine, but I'm not talking about you. But I bet you have groups in your real life, and you just want to play this game by yourself. But if you're a builder, you join a clan that lets you build. So you don't need to spend all that time fighting, killing, and gathering resources. That's not what you find fun. You want to be a builder. If you're a leader, you lead. If you're a fighter, you fight. If you're a painter, you find a clan that lets you paint. And yeah, infiltrators have lots of roles in clans. It's just hard to trust them. And teams that let people do this are stronger for it. My point anyway is that the Rust community is not changing fast enough. I've yet to see a clan with more than like 30-35 players, and it's a fucking nightmare to organize them all. Never seen a clan with like a constitution, a written down ethos, or proper rules that are enforced consistently. I think that we can do a lot better as a community. Other games are able to have clans of hundreds, of, if not thousands of people, so why not Rust? And to address the specific claims made by people, let's start with LOLFTV. Just lack of imagination, man. How can you make such fantastic videos and lack imagination? Like, let's go back 1.5 years, before the raid tower meta existed, or at least was not widely known. I have a video up from then, which is just a basic rock base. It's a tower on a rock. I don't have any locks on the second floor even, and it was unraidable. Because the meta raid towers wasn't there, nobody knew how to build it and get on top of my roof and go down and fucking raid my base. So it was unraidable. Same exists today. We have all sorts of meta around building and placing tool cabinets and double stacking and like boxes sticking out of walls for the loot room and having them just completely sealed off and hidden. Hidden stashes in the ground in your base, which looks like a construction error. Like, it's just lack of imagination, man. Your specific point of you need to have a huge clan to take down a huge clan is simply not true. You can infiltrate it and destroy it from the inside, or just divide it. You can convince other teams to band up, or another huge team to fight them and then mop up the leftovers. You can harass them and setting them back, so they might have the manpower but they don't have a fucking base. Like Ender said, battles are won by immediately exploiting your enemy's mistakes, not necessarily because your plan was so great. To address the claims of vertigo, how much server jumping do you do anyway, man? Love your videos. I've been a fan of your watched your videos since like you had just a few thousand subs. But really, you rarely stray from your Australian servers. All you hear is the English-speaking people's views, and even though you're one of the largest Rust channel out there and doubtless gets a lot of feedback and tips, you still have no idea what the Koreans are doing. You have no idea what the Russians or the Saudis are doing. Their meta is, however slightly different, it is different from ours. And most people don't even watch YouTube. They don't comment on YouTube or Reddit or the Facebook Punch forum. They just play the game. And we never hear from them. All we hear is the meta they come up with, which everybody gets to know because they see it when they play. And finally, if Gary watches my video, thanks for doing the game, man. I fucking love it. What Rust needs is just more items, more kinds of building materials, more structures, more weapons, more everything, so we can surprise each other. But everyone knows how everything works down to the exact details after just a few 100 hours of play. We just need more things. It's really good that we have this discussion, though. I raise my bong to you, Vertigo, for bringing it up, and the rest of you guys for chiming in. I'd love to hear from all of you, either here or on Reddit or wherever. But please keep in mind, nobody of us have heard from the majority of people that play this game. Hopefully this all makes sense to some of you, and thanks for listening to my opinion. And I want to encourage you all to have this discussion with your clan or with your groups or maybe even your enemies. Like, next time you get the chance, talk to someone about it. What do you think? Do we need an in-clan game system? Do we need to ban clans? Do we need to limit them? I don't think so. I think it's fine. I think we can do better. I think we can become bigger, better, and build monuments and make something great out of the clans in Rust. And remember, if it needs changing, it will change. It's a sandbox. We can change it. KillerBong out.